that. As an admin, we record it to put on the Institute YouTube for those who want to watch it from different time zones. So I hope everyone's okay with that. All right, so let me just do a share screen. Here we go. All right, so welcome everyone. It's our second last meeting of the year, and three things on our agenda for today. We have a number of Institute updates, which I'm delighted to share with you. And then, as I already just mentioned, we'd like to get your reactions to the 2022 conference. Oops, typo that. So, you know, in terms of the theme, I'm going to share with you and how we're planning on conducting it. So you're going to be the first to hear that. And then, because we're revving up, we've got a lot of things going on at the moment. I'd like to use today's call because many of you, especially, you know, for Australia, New Zealand and other time zones, you're not able to contribute because of the timing. So I wanted to use today's call to hear from you. Antonio and I, obviously very customer centered in how we drive this. And the Institute's it's still less than 2 years old. And we're very much open to hearing from you what will be of greater value, which will be the last part of today's call. Timing wise, as you saw, we start on time, we finish on time. So I got 60 minutes and here we go, diving straight in. So anyone who's new to the monthly meetings, this is our focus. From day one, Antonio and I, and just a short background, Antonio and I met first of all in Dubai, and then a couple of months later in Saudi Arabia. And both of us shared a passion and the recognition that not enough focus is given to the implementation of strategy, and that leaders have been taught how to plan, but not how to implement. And we also wanted to build the platform to bring the community together, because there was nothing really in the area of strategy implementation. So from day one, the Institute's focus has been to build and bring and network the community of strategy implementation, and also provide the recognition in terms of the skills. The other things are, we have a number of updates, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. SIP stands for Strategy Implementation Professionals, which is the certification course. It's also an opportunity for those who are going through the course or those who have any questions about the Institute. The feedback, which we're going to spend more time on today, new events and activities, which I'm going to share very shortly. And we also use it as a platform to debate trends in the field. So last month, I experimented with something new, and we actually did a virtual debate where we went into 2 different teams to discuss the impact of culture on strategy. Some of you were there, and that worked well. We do our best to keep it to the first Tuesday. It was my turn to host, and for the first time in 22 months, my wife, Grace Kelly, and we were on a cruise to nowhere for 3 days. So we had to delay it a week, but almost always it's on the first Tuesday of every month. So we've got a smaller group today, and we're going to use it as an opportunity because it's also important to network, and that's part of the Institute. So I'm just going to read as they come out on the screen, and I've got Nigel on the top, followed by William. So Nigel, if you don't mind just doing a short introduction, 1 minute, a little bit background on yourself and your interest in the Institute. You'd be okay to kick off?
No problem.
Thank you, boss.
I spent most of my career with Citibank, where Robin and I worked together. 21 years, 5 countries. Then left Citibank and did some other banking with RBC out of Canada, and a local indigenous bank in the Caribbean, GMMB Bank, whose whole focus is making banking easy and enjoyable, a feat that my ex-boss Piyush Gupta has achieved at DBS. I am now kind of semi-retired. I chair a few boards in the Caribbean, and I consult on strategy and implementation, and that's my interest in the Institute, because I share Robin's and the Institute's concern that there is too much talk about formulation and not enough talk about implementation. So it's good to be here.
Thank you, Nigel. William?
I'm working actually from Belgium for Federale Verzekering, which is an insurance company. We're also struggling with putting hands and feet on the strategy. So thinking about it is okay. And then even because there's a strategy office and they're really struggling, really putting a nice mission, vision and strategy and then implementing it. I've worked for 17 years as a consultant for various consultancy agencies. And why I joined, I'm actually a board member of PMI, and I know Antonio, and I saw his initiative on the strategy implementation, and I'm really interested in that because we also feel at PMI that planning is becoming commodity, project management is becoming commodity, but we need to step it up and we need to see how we can go further with our profession. Because if we stay in the project management area, yeah, it will become like electricity and water, and your relevance disappears. So we're trying to find other ways of getting relevance and maybe linking up the two organizations at one moment to see if we can synergize.
Oh, awesome. So just as a short quick, I'm presenting for Brightline tonight, your time. We've got about 400 people registered on the story of DBS. Good to have you on board. Thank you for making the call. Milvio, my friend, can you go next and then Ewan?
Yep. My name is Milvio. I've been working in the Queensland public sector for the last 14 years. I've previously worked prior to that for a number of multinational companies within Australia. The last 10 years, I've predominantly been working in portfolio program and project management offices. I hold a number of certifications, but the one I'm most probably proud of is I'm the first person to be recognized by the APMG International Group to be a strategy implementation professional, a managing benefits practitioner at a trainer level, and also a better business cases practitioner at a trainer level.
Wonderful. Thank you for saying that, and congrats on being the first.
Thank you.
Thanks. Ewan, and then Yoram.
Yep.
Ewan, good to see you.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, Nevin Vergas. I have been, spent close to 2 decades in product development and program management space with appliances and automotive organizations. The reason I joined, currently I'm working with John Deere as a program management lead at an enterprise level. The reason I look forward to working and learning from this institute is more because I find a lot of adjacency between the space that I have spent in, that is project management and strategy implementation. And in the past decade, I have been fortunate enough to lead through major 3 transformations on the product development side. So this actually reinforces my knowledge as well as helps build the network that I look forward to. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm glad they were good experiences. Thanks, Ewan. Yoram, my friend.
Okay, this is Yoram from Israel. I am management and strategy consultant. I did some implementation in the biggest banks and the biggest companies here in Israel. And I am doing it at a little difference from the way that we done it 20 or 30 years ago when all the implementation subjects arise. And I'm looking forward to see how we can do together and make the strategy implementation as a world issue that concern the countries and the companies.
Yoram, thank you. Well said. Larry, and then Arafat.
Hi, everybody. This is Larry from Barbados. My career started out in the private sector doing early project management and manufacturing information systems. I transitioned to the government sector and spent about 25 years doing implementation and execution at that level. And then a couple of years ago, I retired, and I realized that I needed to focus, that organizations were not focused on follow through and implementation, and just really buckled down and dedicated to working in that area. I got my SMP, and then more importantly, my SII certification a little earlier this year, and I'm looking forward to sharing with everyone.
Larry, thank you. Arafat, hi, good to see you in person.
Yeah, Osama Arafat. I am from Jordan, working in Saudi Arabia since 30 years. I'm in the field of construction and industry, also a mixed experience. We are in the Middle East. We are good in project management as planning, but we have a gap between the planning and the actual implementation. So I found in the Strategy Implementation Institute the thing that we are missing here. So it was great to go forward in the Strategy Implementation Institute. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Shukran. Shall we
Welcome.
go Gerald and then Henrik?
Well, I was going to say good morning because it's in the middle of the night here. I joined in from I'm in St. Louis right now at a client for today for a meeting. My name's Gerald Leonard. I'm author of a couple of books. I've been doing project program portfolio management for about 25 years. Worked with a lot of different clients. I now have a consulting firm, Turnberry Premier, and helping clients doing the same. And I've known Antonio, interviewed him on my podcast, and just known the work that you guys are doing, Robin, for a long time. And looking through the SI content and studying that and preparing for the SIP, I just know that those are the things that I feel like are missing out in the market, are missing in industries, as far as helping organizations really create an ongoing strategy to not only just implement, but also to carry it through. Obviously, if you had a client for a long time, which one of my clients I'm at, we have a process for that, but you kind of have to be there working with them. But I think this helps you to build in some processes up front in the system that can be carried on. So I'm happy to be here and looking forward to learning and having the conversation.
Sarah, thank you for sharing.
Hi, everyone. I'm Henrik Magnusson. I'm Swedish, but I live in the UK. And you need to know two things about me. I'm an IT professional and I work in energy utilities. So if you thought strategy can get really theoretical outside of IT, you can really jump down the rabbit hole and disappear into theory if you want to. So I've always called myself the bad boy of IT architecture, because I try and break conventions and do things that are useful to the business, enabling business with technology for strategic outcomes. And the strategy implementation professional status I achieved earlier this year has really helped me in joining up some ideas that I've had. And at the same time, I've done a bit of an odd career move. I'm not sure if you're aware, globally we're in a bit of an energy crisis, and transformation is as important as ever. And I've moved from very large organizations, tens of thousands of employees, to a very small one called Smartest Energy. I'm really proud to be head of architecture and I'm implementing some of the things that we're talking about here. Really glad to be here and talk to you all.
Henrik, thank you. And obviously, hopefully Glasgow will produce some good results for your industry. Thanks. I don't know, because your camera's not on. Chris, are you with us? And Said? There we go. Hi, Chris. Thanks.
Yeah.
If you don't mind just introducing yourself again for those who joined later.
Okay. I'm Chris. I'm in Bahrain. I've been here for maybe nearly 30 years now. But I started really with portfolio management, wasn't really called that then, back in the 1980s, working with insurance companies and mining companies, and working in IT, where we often had this still all too common issue that there were a number of projects to be done, but we couldn't find consensus in management as to which project should have priority. And that was usually depended on who shouted loudest at the top. And in my career in portfolio and project management, what we kept on getting was requests for people to help us align their projects with their strategy. And most of the time when I asked them what the strategy was, we saw the same problem, that everybody thought it was something different and nobody had any consensus as to what should be done first and how much of it should be done, right? So I found that things that some of the work that Antonio was doing overlapped with our view of a strategy execution office integrated with portfolio management, PMOs. And so from there, that led me to the Institute. And we focus now very much on that notion that there's a whole section of change that has to happen. And now, as we see with Antonio's project economy, etc. But this is something we've experienced anyway in our work with people like energy utilities and others, that there's there's the pace of change and the different ways of working with their clients, etc. and suppliers has just meant that there's a huge need for many of them to catch up. And I think that the issue is some others of you said, is how to get people to where they can actually do that sustainably. Because too often we can see a consultant comes in, they get some things going, they help get some things going, but those things don't stay working necessarily, and they don't evolve the way they should.
I don't know what you mean, Chris. If you don't mind, let me introduce some of the others so we can get everybody in before. Would that be all right? Thank you, Chris. I think we can all relate to what you're saying, but not for consultants, never. Aika, I know you're standing by to share. Would you like to go next? And then Said? Hey, there we go. Hi, good to see you.
Hi, my name is Aisha from Congo. So I joined this group because I want to learn something new to bring in my organization. And as I'm running something with my father as a consultant, so I want something different in strategy and project management. So I think it should be helpful for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Aisha. When did you join the Institute? How long ago? I
think 2 years ago.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it wasn't so recent. Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right. And Said, are you okay to talk? Because there's no camera. I don't know if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here, but
No, sorry, Aisha, not yourself, Saeed.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. Good morning again, everybody. My name is Njogu Faye. I'm based in Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast in Abidjan. So I'm here like broadcasting from wider experiences people. So what got me there was my connection with Antonio Nils Rodriguez. I started early in my career as project manager in the shipyard for ship repair project and shipbuildings. It's now international. And then I was just following up on sales, on technical management, and in the view of the involvement that we have within the business, regular change. Change is being the basic regular things, each and every day revolving. Has been years, decade ago, that was definitely not like that. And then we now need to migrate from management to leadership. So I'm founding in this group future leaders because I used to say the group is ahead of the leadership as of today, because still we are spending time on strategy. And then the implementation is not enough explored yet. So getting that future view, future connect to move from strategy to implementations, I believe it's a great thinking forward where it makes sense to spend some time to brainstorm, to also add some additional perspective, because time is coming short and short words is taking too much pressure. But still, in order to stay fresh in mind, in order to get an open eyes on the future, it's very important to learn like this one, external people being everywhere. Then you have the chance at once to benefit from multiple perspectives based in multiple experience in very different countries. So I'm very happy to continue the journey. I'm actually with General Electric. I have been in this group for 2 years now. But basically, when I was taking the new role within the beginning of 2020, it took me a very busy schedule to catch up on new technology on the very complex organization, General Electric. Then I did miss for several months those sessions, but I'm now back because I'm stabilizing in the position now, then looking forward for continuously broadcasting from the wider team. Thank you.
Great to hear and good to have you back. Thank you for sharing. Now, my apologies if I get the pronunciation wrong. Is it Tashwan? I don't know. I can't see you, so I don't know if you're with us. Hey, hi there.
Oh, hi. Morning, everyone. My name is Tsaone.
Sorry, I pronounced it badly. My apologies.
No, it's fine. I'm in Botswana, a little small country. We share a border with South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and
with some beautiful safari.
Yes. I've been working in the insurance industry for about 15 years now. 3 years ago, so that's the thing, Robin. 3 years ago, we came up with a very good strategy, but we kind of failed dismally in terms of cascading it and implementing it. Hence the reason why we joined the institution. We kind of want to know how to join the dots, basically. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. And Saeed just sent a message apologizing. He's got some AV. He's based, I think, in Dubai, if I remember correctly. He's a civil engineer, also working in project management. So thank you, everyone, for making today. Just so you know, we won't continue to do these introductions. Antonio and I were chatting.
Robin?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes,
Aladal, did we hear from him?
Did I miss anyone?
Allah,
my apologies. Thank you, Nigel. Allah, my full apologies.
It's okay, Robert. But my work experience, my name is Ala Al-Ahdal. I am working as IT strategy in Saudi Airlines. My experience in Saudi Airlines, 2 years in IT strategy. My role, it is monitoring the strategy, exploring the strategy, aligning with the holding company, making the dashboard, and meeting the executive. For monitoring the progress for the strategy and taking the support, also fixing some gaps and bridging the gaps. Why I joined the institute? Most of the resource of the strategy is not practically in the website or in the global, but what I touch, what I feel from the Strategy Implementation Institute, something practically, and it touch the issue what we are facing in our organization. Maybe that's why I gain some information. When I go through the material, the book and the referencing and the videos, it helped me to issue and fix some issues in our organization. That's why my experience. I think I joined maybe in 2020 December, by the end of 2020, and I'm still learning. I still try to take the experience and knowledge and implement in our organization. Thank you for
good to have you on board. And my apologies. Thank you, Nigel. Thanks, Allah. Shukran.
Thanks, Nigel.
All right. Is there anyone else I missed? Okay. So we took the opportunity. It's taken a bit of time just to introduce ourselves because we want to build the community. But going forward, we will open the conference call 15-20 minutes earlier. And that will be for the networking, so we can start the meeting and go straight into the content on the top of the hour. All right, let me go straight into the updates. The last couple of months, Antonio and I have been working hard because it's already 3 years since we first designed the course and then launched it 2 years ago. In those 2 years, we all know how fast the strategic landscape has shifted. The impact, not just of the pandemic, but digitalization, sustainability. So we've made some key changes that we will be announcing in the next couple of weeks, this month. And we've changed a number of the articles and content on the course. Now, how does that impact you? For those who are already certified or gone through the what we call Strategy Implementation Professional course, the SIP course, we're going to create the members page, which has already been sent to your login details, and we'll be activating that in November. And for any new articles or content that we add to the course, as part of your membership, you'll have complimentary access to all the changes. And even if you haven't taken the course, you'll still be able to see the latest of what we're adding in. So that will be uploading. That's in the next week or two. So by the end of the month, that will be done and we'll send out the announcement. The members page, as I just mentioned, is being started. It's also going to include the white paper that the Institute published earlier this year, and other publications that we're going to start doing. So this will be for members only, and we'll be introducing new features to it as we evolve. The body of knowledge is already for yourselves as members on the course or taken the course, you receive the body of knowledge. As we've updated the course, we've also updated the body of knowledge. We're just working on the final chapter of updates this week as well. And that will be coming out in January, where we'll be officially publishing it through Amazon. And the body, it will have all the updated course material to it. So once you've finished your course and you no longer have access to the platform, and you think back, oh, there was an article or a statistic I want or a reference, you'll have the e-copy of the body of knowledge, or for those who still like printed, you'll be able to print it, get a printed copy. 2 books you shouldn't miss. I had to put this in. Many of you know Antonio just launched last week his project management handbook with Harvard Business Review. It's had a phenomenal response. His social media post had over 250,000 people on it. So, we're delighted. He's very happy with the launch of it, and it introduces, something from his previous books, but introduces to a broader audience, his project economy, the project canvas, and what needs to evolve to keep project management relevant as we go forward. And the other book is my own that came out 3 months ago, which I was delighted became a #1 Amazon bestseller within 20 days of being published, and continues to, corporate orders every week, continue to present on it 2-3 times a week, including tonight, as I mentioned earlier, for Brightline. I'll be telling that story. And it's not just the story of a bank transforming, it's the story of a traditional organization, a legacy company becoming digitally driven, and it's the world's best bank. Launching in 2022, we're delighted to use this platform as the announcement that the fellowship will be going live in just a few months. We've always, from day one, and those who are familiar with the website, we focused on the strategy implementation professional course initially, because you have to be a member for 2 years before you can apply for the fellowship. So we're delighted to announce that in 2022, we'll be launching the fellowship. The fellowship, it's the highest prestigious recognition that we will give to individuals. And the key shift is that your SIP course tests your knowledge. The fellowship tests your ability to implement. So I'll say that one again. The SIP focused on your knowledge, how well you absorbed and understood implementation. The fellowship, we want to see that in practice. So the bullets down the bottom, it demonstrates a passion in the subject, proven the skills that you've learned on the SIP course, and exhibited a desire to continuously develop. So this is the first time I'm going to, we're announcing it. So I'd love your feedback. Sorry, let me just admit somebody. We would love your feedback because you're the first to see this. So I'm going to share with you a little bit more detail, and then we'll open up for comments and reactions. So as I said, the SIP very much on your knowledge, the fellowship on your skills. And here's how we've crafted it. You have to be certified for 2 years as a SIP, member of the Institute for 2 years. You have to have a passion, an interest, or success track in the field. So I'm just going to mute everyone. So is that a question or? Okay, I've just muted. So the fourth point is we're looking for you to demonstrate. So the fellowship is going to be a 90-day plan that you will identify and implement, and it's how successfully you do that. There'll of course be measures of success. So you'll articulate upfront what your plan is, how you'll track it, and then we can measure it. Also, it's not from an individual perspective, but looking at the people around you. So you will need a sponsor within your organization. You'll get feedback, we'll also get feedback from your peers. And also, once you complete, you'll summarize your project as a 1,500 word paper. Okay, and then let me take you through, and I'll just go through this briefly because of the time. So 45 days before you start your fellowship, you'll do an online submission. So you'll fill in the form. You'll submit a video application, why you should be considered. And then the evidence that we just discussed, the date you joined, your activity in the field, you'll submit. Then 30 days, a month before you start, You'll do an interview call either with Antonio, myself, or both of us, depending obviously on time zones. You'll confirm your 90-day plan and the payment. And then after you, sorry, I'll keep going. So after you complete, you'll submit the results. You'll get confirmation from your sponsor. We'll get feedback from your peers. There'll be a 20-minute presentation with 20-minute Q&A with Antonio and myself. And the 1,500 paper Word will be submitted. And then last thing, during your fellowship, you'll have a sponsor, a mentor, either from Antonio or myself, or again, both of us. So we're delighted that KC Tan in Singapore has already agreed to be the pilot, and he's going to launch in December. So by the conference, we will have our first fellow. So let me just go back to the main content. So let me pause there. Comments, questions, please. Reactions.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's again, I like the shift from knowledge to actual practice. And for an implementation institute, I think it's excellent.
Okay. Thank you, Nigel.
I think,
other comments, reactions?
Yeah, just wondering about the 90 days. And depending on what we can find that we can get done in 90 days and have measures. Because sometimes the measures we might take a bit longer to get the measures in, depending on what they are.
Yeah, so great point, Chris, and I'll explain the rationale behind that. Is one of the areas we find that many people struggle is to put in good measures for implementation, and especially to move from 12-month measures to short-term. So obviously it depends on timing for you, that you've got the right project that you want to work on. So it's not just like the SIP course where you can start whenever you want. Obviously, as you said, Matt, it's got to be a fit on your current project, but also it's the discipline of focusing on articulating measures. But that's why either Antonio or myself will be there to work with the person. And we'll have 5 to 7 indicators that we'll put in place with you. Okay.
I think many of our clients, I mean, we certainly don't like anybody having annual measures, especially not today.
In today's world, yeah.
But you know, if they've got quarterly measures that are the ones that make sense for them, we're going to get a baseline at the beginning of the 90 days, and we're going to get something which might look very much like the baseline at the end of 90 days when we've just finished the implementation. And maybe 90 days later, we'll get a result that shows more impact from the change.
Absolutely, thank you. Okay, I'm going to move forward in just a moment. So I'm sorry, the reason you see me looking to the other side is I use 2 screens. Any other comments or questions? Obviously, we'll be sharing more about this over the next few months.
I think it also depends on the type of organization which you are in, and how fast they can move and implement something. Because our organization has been notorious for being really, really slow.
Yeah. So William, it will be a case of maybe funneling down to a smaller initiative. But the goal is, we're trying to find that balance of the emphasis that it's on seeing you in practice.
You need to find the right size of initiative for the organization you're in.
Sorry, William, your line broke up. Can you say that again?
You need to find the right size of initiative to be able to develop it in 90 days.
Yes, which is the skill in itself,
Mhm.
which is part of the discipline.
So Robin, this is Gerald. So
Yeah.
is this focused at the project level, or is it looking at the strategy level where you're working with the organization strategy or a department strategy for this 90-day plan? And yeah, so that's so I'm a little confused there, because is it at the project level or is it at the strategy level?
I like the question, Gerald. Thank you. And obviously, you know, from our perspective, we're looking at the strategy and what you can do it over a 90-day period to support it. So it's not and thank you for that distinction. I'll add it in. It's not an operational focus. It's looking at your current strategy implementation and what you can do to support it over a 90-day period.
Gotcha.
Great question. Thank you. Okay. All right. So for the sake of time, so delighted to announce it. As I said, more information will come, but we are starting the pilot in December, which takes me to the next key thing. It's my delight to also, for the first time, Tonio and I have been talking about this weekly. He and I have weekly calls to do updates, and we've put together the title for the conference, and it is, and we're looking for your feedback as well. We've calling it Implementation in a Hyper-Connected World. And our focus is the landscape is shifting, as we've been talking about, so fast. There's many new initiatives, many new things going on, and we want to bring all that together. The focus of the conference is that it's interactive. So for our first conference last year, we had keynote speakers, and it was them talking more than participation. The difference in the design is 12 months later, many of us are burned out from watching webinars online. And we want to make this participative by engaging everyone who attends in this way. So let me share with you the design, and then we'll take comments. So we're looking currently, and this is not locked in. This is still on we're still drafting. We're looking on March the 1st and 2nd to hold two 2-hour sessions. And then I will run a bonus session early morning in Singapore for those, who it's late at night, who don't have the opportunity. And the 4 designs that we've put together is we want to have an interactive debate. So 2 teams will present an argument, and then we'll discuss the arguments and vote on the winner. The second engagement is a reverse town hall. So we're a keynote speaker, instead of speaking for 50 minutes with 10 minutes Q&A, they will speak for 10 minutes and we'll have 50 minutes of discussion. That's why it's a reverse town hall. There'll be an open mic session. This will be a discussion, debate, and dialogue of what's most important to members. And that will be with Antonio and myself. And then woven through the conference, there'll be the announcements that you're seeing today around the fellowship and the body of knowledge and a couple of other things we have coming out that will weave as during the conference itself to announce for 2022. So let me pause there. Comments and reactions.
Robin, I think the idea of the reverse town hall is a really good format. A lot of times you hear a lot of good presentations and you don't get enough time to share in the insights of others from different viewpoints. You only have that one direction, and this way you get a really balanced perspective. I really think it's a good idea.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think also the interactive debate is a good idea, especially if we can get everybody involved through breakout sessions or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris, Larry, spot on. And our focus is that it's not a conference you watch afterwards. It's a conference you want to be there live, because the value is going to come from the breakouts and the chats, as you both said.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. The only challenge is to resolve the timing issue.
Yeah, which obviously we can't please everyone, but we'll go for maximum potential.
Yeah.
Will the debates be moderated? Would you have a moderator?
Absolutely.
To
Yes.
make sure. Okay, that's important.
And I think the interactive debate could probably be quite interesting, Robin. I think if you get two well done arguments from opposing sides, it's probably deciding the winner is going to be difficult, and it might be good points from each, right? So it might be some sort of synthesis, I guess.
Okay, so Henrik, the way that we'll do it is there'll be an online vote.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to do it systematically through the voting. And I'll share with you now, you know, that one of my thoughts we were discussing is, for example, you know, what are the top 3 skills you need to evolve from project management moving to strategy implementation? So that, for example, might be the theme. We're still working on it, playing with it. And then we would vote which are the most important skills. It'd be something like that.
That makes sense.
Can
yeah.
you add, sorry.
Go on, Nigel. Was that yourself?
No, somebody else.
Sorry. Okay.
No, me.
Chris, sorry.
Yeah. Can you add maybe you've got two hour sessions. Is it possible to add some sort of networking or
got it. Yeah, like
a kind of discussion forum, maybe in between the two or something like that?
Yep, Chris, we'll do that. We'll add that in. Thank you for that. And just one more question. Would you prefer to have a 4-hour conference on one day, or do you prefer the 2+2 design?
Definitely 2+2.
Okay, thanks for him. Any other reactions?
I like the 2+2.
2+2.
I like the 2+2 as well.
2+2 is better, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
2+2.
I think we can
Yeah,
take that as
same.
confirmed.
Same here, because it allows for flexibility.
Great.
And then you can put some stuff in the morning and the second day in the afternoon, and you can be flexible. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. All right, wonderful.
What kind of timing you're looking
at? Okay, so we've got about 12 minutes left.
So,
sorry, please, sorry, apologies.
So Robin, this is, can you hear me, Robin?
Sola, I can.
Okay, Robin, it's Shola speaking from Nigeria. I didn't get the 2+2. What did you mean?
Sola, yeah, you've joined us a little late.
Yeah, hi, to be here.
Yeah, so the conference will be 2 days, 2 hours over 2 days on March the 1st and March the 2nd.
You were talking about 2+2. Could you clarify again?
Yeah, so it's a two-hour session held over 2 days. So it's
2 hours session.
two-hour sessions over March the 1st and March the 2nd. Okay, Sola?
All
right. So we've got a few minutes left, and we always like to do a breakout session so that you have an opportunity to say hi to each other. And because the time difference, I thought we wanted to give you the opportunity for those who we've not seen before to share where anything else you would like from the Institute, because we're only 19, 20 months old. We're very much membership driven. So we want to hear from you. How can the Institute support you in 2022? So in a moment, I'm going to just go into the breakout. And we've got 17 people on the call now. So I'll do 4 breakouts. And from the breakout, the question is, please introduce yourself to the people. Use a chance to do some networking and say hi. And then when we come back, we'll go through one breakout with one value add that you would like to have as a member of the Institute for 2022. Would that be okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the rooms are open. Have a great chat. I'm going to go straight in because of the time, so we stay on time. 5 minutes. How can the Institute add more value for you in 2022? See you in 5 minutes. Have a good discussion.